Okay. I of course will leave the music on, because why not? Actually, wait, no, I have to speak through all this. Hiccups. Continue. Alrighty, so now here comes the big important part. Do we do all of Baxter's moments and then do all of Ko's? Or should we just do a complete row of DLC of Ko's? Or non DLC of Ko's and then do the rest of Baxter's? Or should we just flip flop between them all? Like we did in the second part. Flip flop it is. So yeah, 5, 10, technically 15, but minus 1 because we did it last time. So 14 total. Pick your pick. 1 through 14. Or 15 technically. We can cross out 11, right? Yeah. You just do it that way. 1 through 15. Unlucky 13 will be first, which is drinks. It was late enough in the day that you were surprised to hear a knock on the door. Seeing who was waiting on the other side only doubled the surprise. Good evening, Beanie. I returned from my journey. Baxter's smile warmed like it was still the middle of the afternoon. Your confusion must have been written all across your face. He laughed as if he could read your thoughts. It was almost a week ago that you found Baxter in that same exact spot. He spoke to about how he put in place some plans to visit old acquaintances in Northern California after his parents had told him they were sending him the Sunset Bird. Baxter seemed being the same statement that he was reasonably close for a visit, but he learned the hard way how daunting it would be to drive himself to the opposite end of California. Before he left, Baxter ended the conversation with the promise on his return he would tell you of their arrival in person, and there he was, true to his word.
Nice to see you.
It was lovely to see you again. I feel I've been away for an age. That arrangement had seemed like a stroke of brilliance, adding more adventure to my stay in the state, assuring myself I'd see friendly faces at least once in the season. Yet, truthfully, I wouldn't have promised such a lengthy trip away from town if I had known who my neighbor was going to be. As pleasant as they were, it simply doesn't compare to what I have here. That's sweet. I missed you. I hope you still had fun. Wow, I'm so flattered, you teased. You know you don't mind if you have other things you'd rather do sometimes. Blushed and looked away, he smiled. Well, I'm so flattered. His smile perked amusedly, but part of you did sincerely mean it. While it always felt nice to be missed, Baxter's kindness was something special.
Excellent.
Gotta be. Otherwise, I need to go back to the drawing board for my next attempt at a compliment. For anything else, you let Baxter actually come in. He cordially joined you in the family living room. With the greetings and pleasantry all done and an invitation to talk extended, he got right to the point, as you would have expected for him.
I hope I'm not being too
Now, I hope I'm not being
forward.
too far, but I would like to spend more time with you. In fact, I was wondering if I might take you on a date. I spoke so boldly about desire before, and it's long overdue. That's what you also want, of course. I've been waiting for this. I do. I was hoping that could happen too. Does that to be called a date? I'd rather hang out with you normally. You're not in full agreement. Fine with the prospect. Yeah, I've been waiting for this. Crossing your arms made it obviously he hadn't even needed to ask. Any trace of caution and expression vanished, and a wide, confident grin took its place. I'm thrilled to hear that. Give me one moment. Let me put my controller over there. Thrilled to hear that. And obviously, this tentative date would be based on your own schedule. Picassoc bikes, why do you drop everything? Simply because I've only now made myself available. Whatever works best for you. I will accommodate accordingly. It is late today, so I don't expect that, but I am entirely free tomorrow. Sighing, your shoulder slumped, and then your head hung forward. Baxter slightly scratched the side of his neck. Sorry, but I'm spending tomorrow afternoon at a family thing. We won't be back home until pretty late. But we could do something in the morning, as long as you don't mind it being kind of short. The place suggested hopefully. It seemed like it'd be a good compromise. It was hard to tell what Baxter thought. He stood there silently. The look on his face changed. It was strange. There was a problem, certainly, but he was free, and so were you. What could be that much of a roadblock? We can hang out some other day if that's not what you had in mind. Expressions shifted again, and not for the better. Whatever caught him off guard in the first place was nothing in comparison. Baxter was getting more perturbed. And just as quickly, Baxter snapped out of it. He released a steady breath and regained much of his usual relaxed compromise with his next inhale.
I apologize.
Forgive me for being distracted. Your idea's perfectly manageable. More than that, in fact. See, I can giggle. I know what's happening. I know what will happen, too. I'd prefer if we didn't put things off to another day. How about we go to a cafe and get coffee or tea? Or whichever drink you prefer. I've seen some very nice ones when I've been out exploring the area, but I haven't patronized any of them yet. That sounds good. Let's do it. Whoops. Excellent. Tomorrow morning it is, then. It was always going to be a busy day, but at least now tomorrow had an added dash of excitement. The anticipation was mutual, and Baxter's tone swinged. You got all the details squared away. Baxter volunteered to play driver for the short trip, and he planned to drop by his house in the morning, once he got ready. When that was settled, there was nothing left to do other than to say your goodbyes for the night. Baxter politely dipped his head. Bye, have a good night.
Goodbye for today.
You as well. I'll see you soon, Beanie. Sooner to go, you both found little ways to stretch the seconds, lingering for as long as you could. Then he was gone. I have a snoring dog behind me. No. It's Belle, who's actually in her own cage. Shock. Was Momo underneath me? She is. Momo was underneath me. I knew one of the dogs was underneath me. That sounds really weird. But they like underneath my desk. Don't know why. So if no one knows, they're all very old dogs. Ooh, I'm sorry, Momo. I just wanted to pet you. Am I petting your butt or your face? That's the question. I was petting your face. I was rubbing her with the bottom with my, I have a blanket on. So I was using my foot to like rub the side of her face, you know? It was kind of like her neck area. But normally all three of the dogs are laying underneath and I can't move my chair, you know? Very hard to do that with dogs underneath it. But I don't think you do. But the one that's most up my butt as of now is Sunday. And I know none of you guys know what these dogs look like, but Sunday is a beagle. Beagle mix, I should state that. Sunday is a beagle mix. The coloring of a beagle, but not the beagle face. And a slightly beagle body, but the face is not beagle. We don't know what the face is. But it's adorable face. And then Belle is I want to say she's kind of a boxer mix. I'm just going based off of my head here. Of what she looks like. Momo, I don't know what Momo is. I know that the breed that she is a hunting breed. And But why is your controller in China, Mongoose? Mongoose, guess what I have all around me right now? It's dogs. Just dogs. I got like 3 dogs in this room right now. I'm currently petting one. That's why my hand is not moving and why I'm not reading. Yes. Sure. Okay, hold on. Bless you! I don't know who that was, but it was someone. Okay. So, here we have Sunday. Say hi! Say hi! And underneath there, you can't see her because she kind of really blends in, but there is a dog underneath there as well. Let me, can you see her? There she is. Moo Moo. Hi, baby girl. I only have one blanket. All those are for the dogs. And then Belle is currently all the way in the corner of the room, so I can't show her. But give me one moment and I can go take a picture of her. Actually, wait, I think I have the picture of her on my phone. So I have 3 dogs living with me currently. All because my uncle has to fix his kitchen. What, Mongoose? Honestly don't know. Let me see, do I have a picture of the doggo? I thought I had a picture of all the doggos. I do. Oh, is there? Here, I will send the picture into the pets area on my server. Give me one moment. Oh, those are so adorable! I sent out the doggo pics of all 3 doggos. So that first photo is of Belle and part of Sunday's butt. Yeah. We're watching them until my uncle's kitchen gets fixed up. Which we're hoping is going to be done by the end of September. Oh, that's going to be interesting to see. No, you cannot have them. I think one of them is currently sitting on my... one of them sitting on my blanket. The rest of the night passed pleasantly. Your thoughts wandered along all the fun paths tomorrow could unfold. The next morning, you're up and out the door like a whirlwind. Your eyes were set on your goal as you went up the hill and crossed the street to Baxter's condo. It's gonna be a server for me and my friends, but I don't know if I want to invite some American people. Oh. Can people see that? Should I like put the Skyrim no mod run at the top? Or just keep it in the corner? Make it so that's going all across the top part of the stream. How's that? How does this look? I would definitely be interested. But I also know that I have some Minecraft mod packs already that I need to go through and finish. Because I started them and I haven't touched them. I don't need a baby mode for Skyrim. I finished the game, technically. Finished the main game. The main quest. That counts as finishing the game, technically. Side quest, I have not. Actually, I finished the Companions Dark Brotherhood. Thieves Guild I have not finished yet. Should do that. No mods. I didn't even know what mods were back when I did finish the game. It wasn't until someone mentioned, is that a mod? As I was going through a cave, I was like, no. I don't even know what the fuck this is. I don't even know how to get mods into this game. Because here's the thing, I played on console back when I finished the first one. The second one, I didn't even know you can also add mods to it. Because I was still playing on console. I thought mods were only for PC users. You know? And then it wasn't until I was looking at, what was it? It was the Kaiden mod. Because yes, I found the Kaiden mod on YouTube and I was like, I want that in my game. I just never looked for mods. I assumed that they didn't have them for console on Xbox yet. I just was completely oblivious to it, you know? And then when I figured out how to do it, I modded my game. And I have fun because I make a little story with the mods. I give my character some skills that they would have based on their story. That is how I do that with my mods. I also make my character look a lot better with the hair mods. Has a fuck ton of stuff and it's actually mostly stable. Well, that's good. Knocking on the door, you try to guess the cafe Baxter had in mind. He mentioned before there were a few that caught his eye, but you weren't sure what that meant exactly. Your growing curiosity wouldn't have to wait much longer. Maybe you would, as you sit in front of Baxter's shut condo. First, you realized it was taking quite a while for him to answer the door, much more than normal. Blinking, your head swiveled as you double-checked for your own sanity that you had the right house. You did, but Baxter was still nowhere to be seen. You rang the doorbell next. Another couple of minutes passed, and finally you began to hear a faint clattering inside the house. The door pulled open a crack. It was barely enough to see Baxter on the other side wearing a half-lit daze and not his usual outfit, that was for sure. Baxter, everything alright? He yawned loudly, and then, sluggishly followed your line of sight to look down at himself. He frowned the second it clicked that he wasn't dressed for the event. He guessed those were his pajamas.
Forgive me.
I deeply apologize, Beanie. I'll need an additional moment before we can leave. I'm running late, it seems. And he shut the door. You were left there on his doorstep entirely at a loss. His bizarre behavior was unexplainable, at least for the second it took for your brain to completely process what had happened. It dawned on you that this was the first time you'd actually seen Baxter before noon, and how that might not be a random coincidence. He wasn't a morning person. That was Baxter's voice actor. Because they do randomly say lines, and that was Baxter's little voice thing. I love that who the fuck said that. Suddenly the door flung all the way open, nearly knocking you backwards. Baxter was back, and this time you got a full view. Baxter was indeed wearing only his pajamas. Black and white PJs, of course. I didn't know he was going to speak. Excuse me, that was rather impolite. You couldn't tell by his tone of voice which incident he was even referring to. Shutting the door in your face, or the way the situation was dragging on forever. It was hard to know. But Baxter moved aside enough that she could pass by. Why don't you come in? Baxter's exhaustion was worrisome, but she shuffled inside anyway. It probably upset him more to leave. You walked through the entryway and into the living room. You paused to take in the space, unable to help yourself after all those years trying to avoid this condo. You're actually inside. Honestly, you never thought that would happen. As much as you want to explore, there was even more unexpected things taking precedence. Your attention returned to Baxter. He closed the door and followed behind. Baxter pinched the bridge of his nose between his thumb and forefinger as his feet dragged. Please do take a seat. I'm sorry for not being prepared. I set an alarm for an hour ago, and I know I heard it go off. Somehow, in a matter of moments, that error disappeared, and now you're here, and I have little doubt about your punctuality. He moved the hand up to rub his forehead with his palm, as if to catch the memories lost inside. You didn't rush him, instead settling yourself in the chair. I don't know how this could have happened. Baxter's word became too mumbled and faint to understand. That brought your gaze back to him directly. What? He did not. He groaned. Again, I feel exposed stomach. Baxter was in the process of taking his shirt off over his head, but his groggy state, the material had gotten caught on his ear. Baxter, maybe don't do that here? You yelped. You snickered quietly. Unbothered, you waited for him to finish. He silently flushed. Unbothered, you waited for him to finish. This was easily the last thing you ever expected from someone normally so formal. But you couldn't be that surprised either. Baxter's moving on sleepy autopilot. A flawed one, too. He struggled to free his face from his shirt, and before you could ask him if he wanted any help, Baxter let the fabric go. He were adjusted comfortably back on his body, working through the tiredness to to conceptualize a plan B, then he squinted at you, confused. He followed your line of sight to his wrinkled clothes.
Oh.
Oh no, that's not correct. I'm sorry. I'm used to living with doormates. They don't care about this sort of behavior. I've lost my manners. I'll go change properly in my room. There's no harm done. I really don't mind. No, no. Waved his hand, dismissing your notion completely. He sighed deeply, still seeming absent-mindedly. You're my guest and I'm being terribly rude. Please stay here. I'll be back in 2 shakes. And with that, the situation was out of your hands. You watched him fumble his way through the room. Baxter made it upstairs, and the slam of the door sent the house rattling. The following dead silence only lasted a split second. Sorry! His voice rang out from what he assumed was his bedroom. His next words were even clearer. He must have opened the door and began to speak. I didn't mean to do that at all. That's okay. I think I pulled the door too hard. It's no problem, that happens. I swear the noise was completely unintentional. He didn't add anything else after that. You remained where he left you in a rapidly growing state of disbelief. To put it nicely, Baxter was a total mess, and somehow the universe deemed you worthy of having front row seats. It was kind of fun to know he was not always so poised. The whole thing was hilarious. He felt bad about bothering him at clearly bad time. That was extremely cute. You were annoyed he couldn't get his act together. Y'all. He is sleep deprived. I don't know what you want me to do about it. Hi, corpse. Mongoose and Voice are making fun of a person who's sleep deprived. Not me, the character in game, but... He's not a stripper. Oh my god. He is not! Oh my god. I feel like the thing is so fucking... Mongoose, I feel like I should tell you, but last stream that I did for this game, I became his summer girlfriend. So... I wanted options. Oh god, that's fucking hilarious. I have never said that. Oh my god. Give me one moment now. I like to just point out. Corpse probably can do it all day. He probably could keep it going. And I never once said, Mongoose, that I am yours, so. Yes, and have you gotten enough? Also, Corpse, that is. That is not the point, is it? Extremely cute. Despite not being Baxter's ideal part of the day, he was still trying so hard to make it work. That consideration and intent meant a lot. Oh, shit. Mayday. Give me one moment. I'm gonna put on BRB. Something has happened. I don't have VC face anymore.
I don't know what else to do.
Oh god, what is that?
What is that? Wait. Mad Dog, I'm gonna.
Oh.
Let's go.
Let's devour hope. Nice. See?
Thank you! I don't think I've ever thought I'd be saying thank you to a clown.
I never thought I'd tame a clown.
About military honor. Glad they're off your back, ma'am. And that you didn't have to give them that evidence you found on the LRI.
I didn't say anything about finding evidence, Cop.
Noticed that, ma'am.
Any idea what your next assignment is going to be?
I'm gonna be escorting more techs around to look for signs of dark energy buildup. Maybe see if they can figure out what's causing it. Wherever they send me, it'll have to be less exciting than Haystrom.
What's your take on the war? Are the Admirals gonna...
Honestly, think it's me.
You want a slug race?
Jeremy's
What do you
gonna have
need?
to
Do you
make a
need
new party,
hooks?
but he's not at his
Do you
thing
need
right
pallets? Can you stab one of my friends so I can heal him?
now.
What?
Can you just stab one of my friends so I can heal him? It's okay.
Is a Reaper. Not just any Reaper.
What? Oh, that is.
A human Reaper. Precisely.
That's fugly.
It appears the Collectors have processed tens of thousands of humans. Significantly more will be required to complete the Reaper.
Jordan! Boy, I don't think my voice can go any higher. Ah! Jordan! 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 Jordan, my friend. My friend. My friend. I found him. Why is it always the palm? That's a lot of nerves that they're damaging, by the way. It's the nerves.
After you, Dragon. You should have the honor of being the first to set foot in Stargate Temple.
There's no telling what we might find.
Dude, her eye. Her eye.
You have to like give me a moment. I'm like trying my hardest to like get ready to face back on the computer.
Fuck that, fuck that, fuck that, fuck that. No, 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 fuck that. Fuck that bullshit. Fuck that bullshit. Fuck that bullshit. Fuck that bullshit.
No, I just had to re-download it. Okay, hold on. I need to see something.
Oh my god.
No. No.
Trying to take their camp back, that's why.
Oh shit.
I'm gonna check on my house.
Oh my god.
It's all destroyed.
Your house is?
No, my house is perfectly in peace.
It's just yours.
What the actual crap?
Your house.
My house is.
The essence of the force permeate your body. Trying to find something. Always making me blush, Mochi. I will be taking a moment and
These might be it. Or are these the same one that I just had on? No, they're good. Alright. Good enough for me.
Got two of our friends. I saw it happen. Are you near, or are you on a gen?
I am.
Which one?
I am not. Actually, I'm settling!
Okay, I'm gonna hop on a gen. With my brand new toolkit.
my god, my old fucking mic. No longer PNG. There we go. I have no clue. It's a good question that I don't have the answer to. Yeah, I was gonna see if I can add a prop, but I don't know where the prop went. So, the bed-head pajamas and grogginess, silliness was an added bonus that you're going to treasure. After a few minutes, the clumsy bumping around upstairs faded. Part of you considered the chances whether or not he had fallen asleep somewhere, but the sound of careful steps soon banished that thought. Instantly have to now change it to something else. There we go. Just letting everyone know that when October hits, that 1st of October, all the things that change my character will be gone for the entire whole month. Because I'll be doing my plan is to do a different model dressed up every day. So, use them as you want them. Max returned downstairs and properly dressed as well. Stretching his fingers along the buttons of his shirt, double-checking that everything was in order.
Hello.
Here I am. Good morning. You're pleasantly surprised to see him already. Hopefully he was actually doing as well as he was trying to. Hey, good morning. I can't emphasize this enough. Thank you so much for your patience. I apologize for that unnecessary bump in our plans. Baxter graciously moved beyond his earlier antics. If you hadn't witnessed it firsthand, you probably wouldn't have believed it even happened. Though, as you observed him more, you noted the signs. He hadn't erased all evidence of a few minutes ago yet. You knew to look for it. His usually pristine and deliberate put together outfit was pulled and tucked in the wrong places. There are even wrinkles. Baxter turned his head and attempted to press on, but there was a dull edge to his entire demeanor. He hadn't quite reached his usual razor-sharp wit yet. It was alright. You still quite enjoyed the soft, easygoing state of Baxter. You're welcome. Are you really alright? You don't have to do this, so you're not a morning person. It really wasn't any trouble. You smiled reassuringly. It really wasn't any trouble. Appreciate hearing that. Carter's mouth hooked into a grin. You both knew he was a dollop of trouble no matter what you said about it. But then his mouth slipped, and you could see Baxter's guilt surfacing. I should admit directly that mornings are, as you might have surmised, a challenge. It wasn't always this way.
swear.
I swear the older I get, the more the early hours come a chore. I got up at dawn for school for years, but college allowed me to actively avoid morning classes altogether. Now I can't remember the last time I had an occasion to be out before 11 at the earliest. Baxter rubbed the back of his neck. His frustration with himself was palpable. Seriously, you don't need to feel bad. Some people are built that way. If you did not like this man. Nevertheless, it's starting to be entirely lost for a specific chunk of the day. Expected I would have a rough start, but I never thought I'd handle the occasion this poorly. Certain would have made better choices if I knew this was the sight I'd be showing you. The intensity in his voice gradually loosened until the final part was delivered quietly. Couldn't even look at you as he muttered. Well, if you're still interested, I'd be thrilled to go on our charming cafe breakfast. Be ashamed to miss out on the chance. Okay, of course I'm interested, you know, I like that. But if I'm driving. Would it be alright if I drove your car? I'm not as tired. Of course I'm interested. The relief smoothed out the worry from his brow. It was sweet and pulled a quiet chuckle from you. Baxter's feet scuffed over the ground as he followed you out of the condo. Simply shut the front door before walking into the street. Hey Baxter, you might want to lock that up. Did you forget to lock the door? Shut it off. There's nothing else to do after all. Code didn't lock his door either. They had that in common. Hey Baxter, might want to lock that. Can't believe he was about to leave the neighborhood like that. Well, Norman Baxter couldn't believe it. It made perfect sense with Morning Baxter. Baxter paused and his face scrunched up in confusion. You pointed at the condo, followed in motion, peering over his shoulder. Good catch, thank you. You waited by the car while he hurried back, from which he could observe that Baxter didn't need any more help locking the front door this time. They hesitantly glanced in your direction before he moved, and you gave him a thumbs up. Baxter rejoined you on the road. And while he might have been living in a daze, when Baxter was standing at the driver's side of the car, see his focus sharpen. There's a task that neither of you wished him to fail. Maybe I should have drove. He got the vehicle and slid inside. He climbed into the other side. Baxter seemed to be in better control of himself by the second. Seatbelt clicked into place with perfect poise. When you were both ready, Baxter promptly brought up the direction to the cafe. Here we are. Silently, you leaned in your seat and soaked in the morning sun coming in through the window. You're optimistic that the date was going to be great. The drive wasn't long at all, and no issues came along. It was smooth sailing. You hopped out, and the scents wafting from the cafe were enough to pull you towards the propped open front door. Once you were inside, the intermingled smells became easier to decipher. Chocolate, cinnamon, bacon, and eggs, and most especially, coffee. Does the good command work? Yes? What good command? What? I'm so confused. What good command? Oh, yes. That does work. That does work. I can speak. Yeah. Ow. There's something about the particular brew of coffee that immediately reminded you of your parents. Two of them loved to have long, easy mornings in the kitchen with mugs of coffee between them on the counter. They may be doing that at home that very moment. Before you could tug on that thread of thought further, a waiter passed by you carrying a sliced quiche. You breathed deeply, picking up the various ingredients before your eyes could confirm it. It looked impressively made. Baxter led you towards the showcases. There were even added baskets of bread and other treats there. Every inch of space was fully stocked with options. Clearly, coming early had its advantages, whether you ate anything or not. This sight was delightful. There was a charm to how they presented the fresh pastries. That was the word he used when pitching the phrase charming. Baxter's right on the money there. It was a pleasant little cafe with a comfortable, quiet atmosphere. Though it was a bit more formal than a typical coffee joint, you couldn't sit anywhere or order at the front. Remember, the waitstaff needed to seat and serve you. Found that detail to be a Baxter thing. It was absolutely him to choose a sit-down restaurant even for a casual breakfast. Sarah came over and gestured for you to follow her through the room. She brought you to a shiny two-seater table and passed out the menus. Welcome, bring some water, but if there's anything else you'd like to drink, I can put it in the order now, or you can take some time to think about it. You'd be lifesaver, you brought me a black coffee, please. Need just water for me. I need a little time to think about it. I'd like hot coffee, iced coffee, Americano, latte, cappuccino, espresso, frappe, hot tea, iced tea, hot chocolate, a glass of milk, a glass of juice. Actually, never mind. Let's go with a cappuccino. Gotcha, get that right out. Just relax and browse the menu. You're welcome to take a peek at the front and see what baked goods we have prepared today. Got your pen close and left you two alone. Baxter sunk in his seat, laying one arm over the back. His eyelids fell heavy closed, but his smile remained seemingly in place.
Now.
Please order to your heart's content. Whatever you fancy, but don't be alarmed that I don't have much of an appetite person. Coffee's all I need this morning. I get that. Of course you'd only want black coffee. Are you sure you don't even want a bite to eat? Well, so much for getting us breakfast together, you tease. I wasn't planning on anything either. You quietly browse the menu. Shit, is it working? There we go. You're welcome. Night, mongoose. I get that. It's still pretty early. It is. We weren't entirely sure if you were going to order anything yet. The deliberation you had with yourself when Baxter took a break. Like for you, the cafe's layout was open enough that you could observe the glass cases in front from the comfort of your seat. Past the time comparing what was printed on the menu to the real-life display. Soon after the waitress was on her way back to your table, she passed out two waters, and then placed a white cup filled with richly colored coffee in front of Baxter and cappuccino by you.
Perfect.
Perfect. Are either of you ready to order? I'm taken care of, thank you. I like some food. I like a pastry. Yeah, I'm going to get some food on one of those pastries. Good too, actually. I want to see the food. During the menu description and the scents flowing from the other tables, you couldn't resist. You're ready for breakfast. They just smiled timidly and rated her pen on my ears. I like an egg plate, egg sandwich, slice of quiche, a lunch meat sandwich, a hummus, a veggie sandwich, panini, breakfast burrito, a bowl of oatmeal, a smoothie bowl, a bowl of soup, a salad, a yogurt parfait. Let me see the pastries. There was no way you could resist. The treats by the front of the cafe looked too good to pass up. She smiled timidly and rated her pen. I'm all ears. Croissant, piece of coffee cake, a muffin, sliced banana bread, cheese Danish, fruit Danish, cinnamon roll scone, cookie, a piece of cake, a piece of pie, a cup of bread pudding, a bear claw. Let's do a muffin. Great choice, this sounds really yummy. I get these menus out of your way, then, and I'll be back soon with your order. She scooped up the menus and walked away, dropping them off at the front stand before disappearing into the kitchen. Baxter shifted his attention to
Lovely.
I'm pleased you're getting something to enjoy. Another long, wide yawn forcefully derailed Baxter's train of thoughts. Lately tried to shield you from the image by covering his mouth. Once he regulated himself back into control, Baxter splashed you a grin, though it quickly lost its playful oomph as his eyes remained extra lit. He had something in mind, but he also seemed fairly content to simply gaze at you languidly. Baxter lifted his coffee and pressed the edge of the cup to his lips. He took a slow sip before putting it down. Baxter propped an arm against the table so he could hold his chin up. Normally that would have been a casual gesture, but anyone watching could tell that he just needed the extra help keeping his head upright.
Is that fine?
Before food arrives and seals all your attention away, would it be fine to ask a question? Oh, sure, ask away. What exactly is the event you have on the horizon? Oh, it's nothing crazy. I'm going to see my aunt and uncle. I've already seen them, but I'm already missing Lee. Who's Lee? My cousin, their daughter. We're about the same age and are friends, but she won't be there this time. She's busy. That? Suppose we caught off by another yawn, and one that marked into a wince. But try his boothicks with a sweet smile.
I'm sorry.
I promise that was that me being bored. He blinked and it was hilarious, obviously. Those eyelids didn't easily unstuck. Bit down the inside of your cheek and tried not to laugh. It's alright, you're tired. Exactly, please continue. Yeah. Out of my aunt and uncle, it's my uncle who I'm directly related to. He's my mom's younger brother. They'll get along. That's the part of my extended family we're closest with, well, in terms of location. Laughing, you scratch the back of your head while you explain. Baxter nodding a lot and focus on the sound of your voice. His smile softened as you grew more animated speaking about your family. It's like I don't have a good relationship with everyone on my mom's side, but they mainly live in Hawaii, so it's a lot harder to go see them in person. Grandparents used to be in California when me and Liz were little, so they could help out. But that's temporary, and yeah, it's nice having family that we can see more often. Your voice trailed off with fond memories of your family, then your eyes snapped wide open. All Baxter did was ask about your plans for the day, and somehow you'd ended up rambling about so much more. I know I kind of went on a whole thing there. Nonsense. I enjoy listening to everything you share.
Thank you.
Thank you for telling me about your family. It was lovely to hear about them. Okay, you're welcome. The waitress returned with your order. She placed it carefully on the table. Enjoy. Thank you. You didn't waste a single second and gave it a taste. It was good. Since you had basically covered everything about what you were doing later, you didn't need to juggle thinking, talking, and eating, just as Baxter intended. It was nice to preoccupy yourself with this treat. Baxter, meanwhile, only had his coffee, and he was acutely aware of that indifference. Baxter pinched inside of his lip between his teeth while he tried to search through his foggy thoughts for something to say. He wanted to be good company, but he wasn't sure how to accomplish that. I know. How about I tell you what happened while I was on my trip? That'd be cool. Let's hear it.
In that case...
then, Baxter sat up straighter in his chair and considered how he wanted to begin the story. But his mindset momentarily overcame the tiredness that clung to him. As you know, I traveled to Northern California. It was a monumental drive. 12 hours of me, myself, and the road. That car was wonderful. It got me there and here again, without a single issue. When I had every reason to rebel against all the potholes I accidentally hit. Baxter paused on the note and took a drink of his coffee. He placed the cup down on the table and winced. It's somewhat silly now that I'm vocalizing it, but I feel a tinge of guilt for all the miles I managed to put on that vehicle over the course of this vacation. Sighing deeply, Baxter wore a blissful look. Understand the magnitude of his trip. Hopefully his mysterious acquaintance was a laid-back type. On a brighter note, the drive was even more scenic than I imagined. It was a shame I couldn't snap a single picture. Still, I'm grateful that I was able to leisurely travel across the state while I was here. I bet. And all that fuss to see some old family friends. Believe it or not, they're actually people my parents have known since well before I was even alive. Wow. Well, indeed, I can't imagine knowing someone for that many years. Between you and me, I don't have much of a relationship with them myself. Really, but you went completely out of your way to see them. I know they've always been fond of me, almost as if their own nephew. They're more than happy to open their door to me given that chance. This might surprise you or not, but I managed to get along famously with an older son.
So?
It was only polite to make a social call while in the relative area, and there was plenty to catch up on and discuss while I was there. We were having to catch some fantastic shows. It's nice if you enjoy the trip within your trip. Baxter's nose scrunched as he chuckled. He took another quick sip of his drink. I can't agree more. Stevie continued to chat about upcoming plans while finishing your drinks, and also in between several more excited and distant yawns from Baxter. Eventually, he glanced towards the windows, and his brow pinched. He didn't say anything on his own, so he asked, "What's wrong?"
Well...
I might be keeping you too long from your other plans. It's not too late yet. I don't want there to be yet. Your family's important. Do you want to get going then? Yes, that would be for the best. Trying to see until he caught where the waitress had gone. Baxter and she returned a minute later. Could we please have the check? I like a check for mine too. You appreciate the gesture, cover it. It'll be one ticket. You got it. I'll get that for you. So as the waitress was outside, Baxter let another yawn, but it morphed into a frustrated girl. I'm getting really sick of that. Someone didn't sugarcoat a single feeling. Night, corpse. Patting Baxter across his arms and tightly shut his eyes. It's a sucky experience when you're that exhausted. Baxter only murmured and roughly rubbed the sides of his face. Frustration manifested visibly as a grimace. I could distinctly feel my own eyeballs on my skull due to the strain. The sand dropped onto the table and the glasses roused softly. The only made his mood worsen. I hate that. I shouldn't have to be so aware of my own presence in this body. Oh no, you sorry. Sorry, Baxter. He patted him on my shoulder. That's worse. You shook your head inside. Pat him on the shoulder. Let's do... Sorry, Baxter. Saying you wonder if this morning was an ill-fated sign all along. It's horrible that he felt so uncomfortable trying to force himself to win a losing battle. You've been more than gracious for sitting through my complaints. I don't mind. It would be better if I could do more. No, you did more than enough. I shall live through it. Small Baxter gently tried to match it, despite how he was feeling. Waitress approached once more with a small black folder and placed it on the center of the tabletop. Can I clear any of this way? No rush if you're not ready. Please, take it all. We're about to leave. Waitress got right to work gathering the cups. Baxter, meanwhile, picked up the folder and opened it. A few minutes, the service was off again, and Baxter peeked at you at the top of the folder. Thank you, Beanie. I do appreciate you making time for me at the very last minute. Especially on a day where you're already so busy. Thanks for inviting me.
Of course.
Of course. It's always a treat to see you. Baxter half-lit a gaze, lingering gently while he reached in his pocket, and those tired eyes snapped open. He reached the alertness he'd been striving for in an instant. My wallet. Stared at you hopelessly. Baxter was sober and extremely aware of the reality he found himself in. I didn't bring my wallet when I got dressed. I did not recall to take my wallet off the nightstand. Oh, that's fine. It's fine. I'm not surprised considering how hectic things were. Starting to hate it when that happens. Aha. That means this will be my treat. You shrugged. It's fine. I'm not surprised considering how hectic things were. It was a good thing it's at home. That was better than forgetting it here at the restaurant, which might have happened instead. It was intended to be a reassuring thought, but Baxter didn't respond. His expression remained frozen in horror. Understandably, Baxter was mortified. Threaded his fingers through his hair. I'll click around back and get it in return, and then I'll have to abandon you here. But then I'll have to abandon you here, and that's not any better. Perhaps let me take an electronic payment I can send through my phone? All you got was black coffee. I can cover it for you. Curtis mouth twitched, and he read that as a sign he'd at least heard cheat. Though, you suppose it was only because he had reached a dead end in his own ability to solve this problem. Baxter pressed his palms against his eyes, and his fingers curled tightly. He released a slow, shaky breath. He stopped only to freeze halfway across the table. From his tense body language, he was trying to great difficulty to keep himself from getting truly upset. Shouldn't push him. You weren't sure how to help or what to do. You could only watch. He exhaled deeply once more, and this time he lowered his hands, folding them neatly on the table. I would appreciate that greatly. He couldn't quite look at you while he spoke, though the forced politeness in his tone reached you completely. And don't worry about it. Collect the check he dropped in his panic and slid your card into it. When the waitress swung by, he handed it over. There's no trouble to be found at this table. Thanks so much. Just a minute. Swapped off and you shifted your attention to Baxter. In that brief period, his shoulder lost their defeated thumb. Sat stiffly upright and said, he studied your reaction with a delicate smile. Please don't misunderstand. I am entirely fine. The issue is with my behavior towards you. You don't need to force yourself to make me feel better. It was all my mistake. His lips pressed into a fine line, and it was crystal clear that he was preemptively stopping you from further okaying the situation. He was dropped to the tabletop, and the awkwardness was too stifling to do anything else. But Baxter was beating himself up for perfectly normal missteps was horrible. He didn't like it at all. There's a reason why people call those kinds of situations accidents. Because there's no manipulative or malicious intent. His only crime today was being human and sleepy. It would have been great to remind him of all that, but Baxter was far too irked to hear any of it. He wanted to move on, so he bookmarked things there. The date wrapped up in a haze. The waitress returned your card and wished you both a wonderful day. Then he left. Baxter arranged to muster up a few things to discuss on the car ride home. The conversation was distant and disjointed from how you both normally clicked. He made it home safely, the night before his silence had time to form. Slamming his door to exit the vehicle was the first he heard from Baxter in a while. Two of you stood on the street, face to face, but the awkwardness from the cafe had also come along for the ride, and it lingered forebodingly. This wasn't something you wanted to continue between you and him. Either of you made a move to leave, a promising sign that he was struggling with the same thought. Max began sliding his fingers through his hair, and then he paused mid-motion and dug his nails into his scalp. His controlled expression strained.
I'm sorry.
This is all my fault. I only forgot my wallet, but I made things increasingly worse by acting immature about it, undoubtedly making you uncomfortable. Maybe hard to believe at this point, but I often can deal with unexpected issues as a reasonable adult. They stung a little more than usual. I'm big enough to admit that. Certainly did not help that all this was coming on the heels of an already disastrous first impression. I had been hopeful that I could still fix the overall impression by then. Needless to say, I didn't succeed, and I completely understand if you were doubting the merit of a relationship with me at this point. I present myself terribly to you. Damn. What a mortifying first date to go through. But if you're willing to, I would like to ask for a second chance. I can take you out again for drinks tomorrow night, or rather, any night you have free. I promise the next one will be better. Just a blush rose in his cheek while he barreled through everything he needed to say before you could even get a single word in. Finally, Baxter paused to breathe. He blinked, trying to absorb the magnitude of everything he'd said. Now that he laid all his cards on the table, there was nothing left to do but anxiously wait. But for all else, he rushed open a space for you to talk, and that was a relief. There's nothing terrible about what you did. You don't feel bad about it. You don't have to try so hard to impress me. I had a great time today. I'd love to go out with you again. You nod understandingly. I had a great time today. I'd love to go out again. Really? Yeah, why wouldn't I? I know you're embarrassed it happened, but I don't feel the same way. We had fun with a few problems. That all worked out. Ah, you're far too kind. His gaze was gentle, if only for a single look. Baxter swiftly resumed his usual grin and confidence.
Very well.
I'll be in touch later with a specific time then, and potentially a suggestion for what you might want to wear. Have a lovely rest of your day with your family. Tell your mother since Lucifer said hello. I will. Excellent. See you again soon. Goodbye and earnestly seemed to be in much better mood than only a few seconds ago. He waved too, even though his turned back couldn't see. Bye. He suddenly walked home, and once he was safely inside, he couldn't hold your frown any longer. All morning, Baxter acted as if he had been the one who needed to earn approval. To him, you weren't individuals getting to know each other. He was an outsider who had to jump through hoops or be excluded. That was the impression you gotten. It was more than upsetting. Maybe you took it that hard because he was so tired. That felt like wishful thinking, but you thought so anyway. It's possible Baxter would be more comfortable after he rested. And if he wasn't, then you hoped that he would allow you to show that your company didn't have to be like that. Whoa. The rest of the day was focused on your family. It overall was a great one. It was nice spending the afternoon with your aunt and uncle, moms, and Liz. And you remember to tell Baxter tell them that Baxter said hi. You were half asleep when you finally made it home and collapsed onto your bed. Soon morning had come again. I'm going to save it here. I am tired. I spent a lot of time out in the sun today. So I'm drained. I'm trying to keep my eyes open a little bit. And my mouth is starting to hurt a little bit from talking. Because I talked a lot as well today. So I shall see you all tomorrow. I will be playing The Long Dark tomorrow on stream. And Saturday streams with Risa will be a little different going forward. Maybe Risa hasn't decided it, but it will be different. So, on that